All right, Crim 5, yet once again, I think the PowerPoint slideshow is longer than the actual chapter, so a lot of this stuff is stuff that we've actually covered before, so let's jump right in. As a term community, we already know, I think we know very well by now what a community is. So I'm going to let you just read the slide. We know what a community is. Group of people that are connected in some way. And we've talked about the many different types of communities. You have the city of Fresno. You have maybe a community. The community could be even something like Fresno City College. It could be a neighborhood. It could be many different things. So there's little argument today, of course, that citizen or community participation in the justice system is absolutely crucial. And we're seeing this more now than ever, how important it is. Every single citizen in our community is aware of crime and how detrimental it can be. It is also very important that citizens know that their participation in community events can actually help to lessen the whole impact of crime. Okay, so the concept of community participation, there's a couple of different types of community participation. Blah, blah, blah. Let's go here. Major group interaction, shared boundaries, blah, blah, blah. The justice community is described as a system interacting with one another within legal boundaries. One of the other problems that it kind of comes into play here is that some of our law enforcement agencies or agencies within the criminal justice system don't always communicate or work that well together. So that's some even more so another little problem, little fence that can be put up in that can block that progress. So participation. What is participation? Interacting with each other. What is community participation? The community working together to work together. Oof, I know that the PowerPoints are so painful for this book. This is not my favorite book. Okay, so I'm going to go right into communities. The people in the community are now demanding that they have a voice in how the police do their jobs. Okay, I think we're all seeing that now as well. They feel like the government is too far removed from the needs of the community and that they are not being held accountable. Okay. When the community is dissatisfied, that is when their voice is unfortunately heard the most. If the community is happy with the police, everything is great, and the community participation sometimes at that point gets really low. Citizen and community involvement in the justice system is not desirable. It is necessary. It is absolutely necessary. The police and the community need each other. And I think both sides need to realize that that is the case. Again, both sides need to realize that is the case. And I think sometimes police also forget that they need the community as much as the community needs the police. Police can't solve crimes without witnesses, right? They can't keep the community safe without hearing from the community and knowing what's going on. Are there problems with community participation? Yes. Again, like I said, community control or participation is reactive. When something is going wrong, when things are not going well in the community, that's when people pick up the phone and start calling police or start complaining about police. When police are doing a great job, do you think that people are going out and contacting the news media and trying to have a press conference to say how great the police are? No. Nobody says a word when the police are doing what they're supposed to do. There is a natural suspicion of outsiders on the part of any organization. Okay, so let's imagine that we're all sitting in class, and we've been sitting in class together all semester. Okay, this is the last chapter. And on the last day of class, let's say the last week of class, somebody that you don't know, that's never been in our classroom before, walks in. You don't know anything about this person, never seen that person before. Are you suspicious of that person? Why is that person here? I've never seen that person here before. They don't belong in here. No matter who the person is, right? Is it natural to be suspicious of an outsider? It really is. Now, is it polite? No, it's just not polite. Of course, we should welcome everybody with open arms and always be open-minded and all that kind of stuff. But this is the same thing that happens with communities. Police look at the people in the community sometimes as outsiders. The community look at police sometimes as outsiders. Is it normal for either side to look at the other as an outsider? Sometimes. Okay. So there's two types of community participation: regulatory and supportive. Okay. Regulatory participation. This is basically someone who is maybe an oversight type of deal, an oversight participation, someone who is trying to check on the police and make sure they're doing what they're supposed to do. Okay. And these are things like civilian review boards. They're checking on potential police abuse. They are community members that are trying to restore police community trust. Here are some pros and cons of each. I mean, pros and cons of the civilian review boards. So these are people in the community who will sit and basically judge the way police officers do their jobs, which is a good and bad thing, right? First and foremost, they represent the community, and they get to come in and say, police, we don't like the way you did this, this, and this. We want you to change this. The bad part is they're not police officers, so they're not trained, and they don't know how police officers do their jobs. So, I mean, there's a little bit, of course, there's some pros and cons. Okay. Civilian oversight agencies. So these are agencies that might go in and basically see how the agency as a whole is run and make some recommendations on how an agency can change. They investigate things like shootings, deaths, complaints, use of force, racial bias, things like that. Again, these are groups of people who are coming in to assess and evaluate how the police are doing their jobs. So this is a type of community involvement, but it is an oversight type of community involvement. The ombudsman is very similar. This is a kind of a person who will investigate, again, citizen complaints against police. Right? Okay. These are, again, kind of citizen oversight type of involvement. Then we have more of a community policing or citizen involvement, where citizens actually volunteer, do community patrol, collect evidence, volunteers basically that are actually helping the police as opposed to evaluating how the police are doing their jobs. So this is the second type of community involvement with police. Make sense? They are supportive participation. More supportive participation. I know we're talking about the new millennium and it's already 2021, so I'm not quite sure how how new the millennium is now, but the last, 5 years or so have been especially brutal with police and community relations. I think that the relationship has soured in many ways, a lot because of some bad police officers doing some bad things, a lot because of media coverage, a lot because of social media, a lot because of a lot of different things. How can that change as we go forward? The relationship between the police and the community must involve feedback and communication. Must involve feedback and communication. These relationships must evolve, they must change, and they must continue to include communication. Again, national and world events also have greatly impacted the way we police in the United States. September 11th was a significant change, caused a significant change in the way police officers do their jobs. War on terror, homeland security. This was something that changed the police-community relationship, and for a while it was actually really good. Right after September 11th of 2001 was probably the time when I saw the best. People trusted the police pretty significantly at that time, because we, as a society, as a community, as a country, were kind of all on the same page for a few months after September 11th. It was as united as I've ever seen the United States. Clearly, things have changed, because we're definitely not in that place now. So, anyways, foreign terrorists have become a significant issue. They continue to be a significant issue. We are busy in the United States fighting against each other, and guess who's benefiting from that? Foreign terrorists. Foreign terrorists have free reign right now because we're about ready to kill each other, and guaranteed they are chomping at the bit to get to us, because we are so worried about trying to get at each other. Preventing crime should always be on the forefront. Police officers, of course, are the only 24/7, 365 day a year public agency, although prisons and jails also do, and hospitals also do this. Excuse me. They are called to aid the sick, the injured, the missing, the insane, and the feeble-minded. And they are also involved in peacekeeping, order maintenance, and conflict resolution. I was talking to somebody the other day. There was a case of the old woman who had dementia and had been contacted by police after she stole from Walmart, and then she resisted arrest. And someone said, well, they just need to train the police officers to deal with people with dementia. And I thought to myself, how many different mental health issues can each officer be trained to deal with? I mean, and health issues. You know, there are countless mental health issues and physical health issues. Can every officer be expected to know how to deal with each and every one? I don't know. It seems overwhelming. Police have always had a community problem-solving role. Blah, blah, blah. Problem solving, problem solving, problem solving. Each community also has a different problem. We live in the Central Valley. Well, I'm assuming that you live here. In the Fresno area, we have problems in our area that are specific to our area. Things like meth, very significant problem in the Fresno area. Things like gangs are a very specific problem in our area. The city of Fresno, at least, gang violence and our murder rate is just off the charts. So there are certain things in Fresno specifically that are more of an issue than they would be in other areas, we'd say. So there are local strategies that our particular police force needs to consider for our area. Blah, blah, blah. That's it.